Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Coco is here with Kidane and Ray, and we are continuing Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations.
That's right.
We sure are.
Let's fight the thief. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. So why did you look away from the door anyway? In addition to the camera, I had prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I had to check the data. That's why I went to the computer. Elegantly, of course. So you were momentarily vulnerable when you were working on the computer. What should I do? Should I ask some more questions?
That's enough. When is that ever the correct answer?
I think it happens once or twice throughout the entire, 8-game series.
Yeah. What kind of sensors are you talking about? There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from.
Actually, I think this might be one of the cases. I don't think either of these really give you much.
Okay.
But you also don't lose anything by selecting them.
Yeah. There are air conditioner ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat detecting infrared and ultraviolet sensors to each of them. That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours? Lordly Taylor Department Store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware. Naturally, the security camera that took the photo belongs to them as well. In other words, he couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh? Has that cleared up any doubts you had about me, Sir Lawyer? However, look at me, cannot be so easy to come back, baby. What does that mean? Whatever you said, discombobulated.
Young people these days, they really irritate
Oh my
me.
god, Jesus, Judge. I hate young people.
All young people should just die.
They allow perfectly good old words to die until everyone forgets what they mean.
We should do the same to young people. Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway?
Now I've forgotten. What was I saying?
Jeez, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago.
Well, it looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony.
You didn't clear anything up.
Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and wound up me senseless. What do you mean by weapon from the side? Naturally, the thief had no idea that I, Look at Me, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse. Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch? Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp. Okay, so he is talking about the Shishishito.
So the thief armed himself with a sword. And what about yourself, witness?
A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities? But of course, in college I was the second in charge of the boxing club.
I'm sorry if I fail to find that appropriately impressive.
However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch nemesis, Mask to Mask. This guy is a real piece of work. His first blow struck true. Bam! And that's all she wrote. Can you tell us a little more about what happened? My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious. Powericious?
Young people making up new words, they really irritate me.
I assumed the Atme fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me. What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? What is this Atme fighting style? I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you. That's it? That's the Atme fighting style?
Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony?
Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique after all.
Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone at night, late at night.
Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out.
Now then, witness. We'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony.
I put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my third eye. Where is this third eye you're talking about?
My nose.
Oh, it's right between my right and left eyebrows. It's quite invisible to the unenlightened. You may call it the forehead, if you like. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? So, lawyer, it looks like the creases in your own forehead are getting deeper.
So Mr. Atme got hit on the forehead then?
That's what he says.
I've got a funny feeling about that.
Actually, so do I.
Well, what do you think, Nick?
Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now.
Yeah? What is it?
This Luke Atme guy. He's definitely hiding something.
But why?
I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective. Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun this is, sir lawyer. It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. No, the coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. Then my arch nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here.
From behind, huh?
But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head. It seems I made another mistake. Detective Atme, that's not the only strange part of your testimony.
What do you mean by that?
For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were gonna help with security. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong!
To err is human, to forgive divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate. And yes, they even make mistakes.
Hey, hold on, it's not as pretty as that.
Really? What is it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules.
This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around.
Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you're asserting?
Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that the answer is simple. It's all clear to me now! Detective Luke Atmey's true identity is actually Mask Damask! Yarg!
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atmey's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scenes, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please, the explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atmey. The truth is that you are, in fact, Mask Damask. Dirk!
But right, this photo, it clearly shows Mask Damask. The security camera belongs to Lordly Taylor Department Store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it.
He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretenses of providing security. Then he simply dressed as the thief and stole the urn.
So, the ace detective is actually an ace thief? Is this true, witness?
Damask's MO is pure genius, and so am I. Look at me, ace detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, Sir Lawyer.
What? Witness, you're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance. Punch him!
Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atmey, when you assume the thief's... He got some coffee at last.
Godot Blend 102. My personal favorite. Your flesh house slath off your face now.
Mr. Godot!
This is assault!
Yeah.
The ace detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem. It simply isn't true.
But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some strong points, and I
will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of a whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Trite. If this detective really is a thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face.
Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there with coffee on your face. This court would like to see would like to see this decisive proof you have. Quickly! You have 5 seconds. Hurry it up!
Huh? Yes, of course. What's the big rush?
Are you alright, Nick?
Abby looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. But can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Luke Apney is in fact Mask to Mask is... Proof? Of course, I've got nothing.
Ha! Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high, no matter how bad things get, after all.
I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion.
This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief.
Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again.
It's no good. I'm just not ready yet.
But are you going to just give up and let us lose this?
So you've come to your senses, have you, sir lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all.
It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, if you have anything further to add, then... Who?
It's the sea!
Who are you? That doesn't really matter right now, does it?
Mr. Light, what are you doing here?
Nicky boy. The thing you've been looking for. I think I found it. You mean that bag? No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well, that's the sacred urn. Nick, it's the urn.
Well, it was taken without a warrant, so it's useless as evidence.
Yeah. Order! You, madam. That urn, where did you find it? You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective, Luke Atme.
Oh, Desi, you're the best! Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme? Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one.
Huh. Pathetic.
Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say?
Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad.
You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved?
Before casting aspersions at Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight, isn't that correct?
Yes, what about it?
Ha! How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring.
What are you insinuating?
As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere. Including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it.
What? I just brought it here from the detective's office.
Please, madame. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to.
You're wrong. I would never do such a thing.
Miss Delight.
Please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people.
There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Acme Detective Agency. I can prove where the urn was. By the fingerprints on it.
Fingerprints, eh?
Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything.
What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. Nick, what are you going to do now?
I've come too far to turn back now. Abby must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn.
So, what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway?
Mr. Atme, do you recall the events of yesterday?
Hey, Nick, come on, open it up.
Hey, wait a minute! We can't just open his private property!
Don't be such a fuddy-duddy, 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 fuddy-duddy.
Oh, oops, sorry.
This is an important investigation. Well, what's in there?
Hang on a sec. I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard.
Hard.
Hard. And smooth.
Well, hello there.
It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at that time. But I did touch what was inside. The hard, smooth thing.
What? You touched it?
And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard.
Well, that was just...
Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Apme's office.
Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it?
Of course it does.
What did you say?
Not what I said, it's what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said.
I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable.
If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was... yesterday at the Acme Detective Agency!
Ha! This blend, Godot Blend 107. I've decided it's a little too bitter after all.
Order! I accept the defense's request. Bailiff! take this urn and...
Wait! Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that.
No need, you say?
Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn.
What are you saying?
Yes! I've finally broken him down!
Take a good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself! Here I am, the tragic clown!
This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake.
You see, it was me all along! I am the one and only Mask to Mask! I hope you all enjoyed my little performance!
Well, Mr. Godot, what's Mr. Atmy's condition?
He's still in the lobby laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be.
Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of a thief. Nick, you were right after all.
Yeah! I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief.
The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight.
You're wrong! Wrong, I tell you! Not exactly wrong so much, but not exactly... But actually not right is what I was really trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief! The sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures! It's me! I'm him! I'm the one you want! I'm the thief, I tell you! So do it! Pronounce me guilty, please!
I don't know what kind of a kangaroo court you all think this is, but...
The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass judge... What are you talking about? I already confessed! I'm the thief, I tell you!
Mr. Godot, don't just stand there drinking coffee.
Huh. Hey there, Mr. Thief.
Yes, sir!
If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean.
If you are masked to mask, then prove it. That's what that means.
Yes, sir! I'll be happy to!
Good man.
He says he'll be happy to, Nick.
It's kinda cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy.
Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. So man are you man so you can man.
I know that. I won't fail, I swear!
Okay then. Talk. We're all listening.
Oh well. Let's all have a listen to this confession.
The truth is, I've been mask to mask all along! I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually mask to mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all! I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended upon the scene of the crime! Look! You can see right here in the photo! That's me! As for my brooch, I snagged it on the door handle and it got torn off, that's all!
I don't like the direction this trial has taken.
But this is how every trial goes. At least with me, anyway.
Ha! You're doing great.
Oh, sorry about that. Stop it, Mr. Godot. You're embarrassing me.
Like I said, you're only going to get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true Mask the Mask.
Thanks so much, Mr. Godot. I'll do my best.
Alright, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid it's time for the cross-examination.
The truth is, Mr. Marsh all along. You may think you're the real Master Mask, but your wife thinks you're delusional. I haven't told Desi yet, about my true identity, I mean. Believe me, I've got my reasons. With the way your room is decked out, how could she not know about it?
Even thieves have complicated family situations, I suppose.
What should I do? It sounds like we're about to get sidetracked again. So why are you withholding the truth from your wife? Well, first of all, I don't think she'd believe me anyway. And second, if there's one thing that Desi absolutely detests, it's criminals.
If that's the case, then why did you ever start thieving to begin with?
Well, Desi is crazy about shopping. She's a real shopaholic. But she's the love of my life, Your Honor. I guess you could say I'm a Desi-aholic.
So you do have a complicated family situation after all.
Alright, that's enough. Please continue with your testimony. I beg of you. I mean, you can't prove it. I'm not actually Master Mask, can you? I thought you were gonna be the one to show us the proof. You know, that you're the real Master Mask and not just some kind of obsessed fanboy. Hey now, that's not fair! Why do I have to do all the hard work anyway? Maybe because you're the one making the outrageous claim for a change.
Come on, Nick. You know that Mr. Delight couldn't have committed the crime. You're the one with the fancy law degree. It's time to put it to work already.
I need some kind of proof that Ron couldn't possibly be Master Mask.
Well, I guess if you had that kind of proof, we wouldn't be sitting here. Or we wouldn't still be here, would we?
For the time being, maybe I need to shift strategy. I should try to show that Mr. Delight couldn't have stolen the urn. Anyway, I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen after all. You've got no alibi?
I've been a judge for a long time. And this is the first time I've ever heard a defendant brag about having no alibi.
But I tell you, I was in Lordly Taylor that night! No. That's too vague, even for me. To be more precise, I was down in the basement warehouse. Hold on.
What is it, Nick?
Where was Ron Delight when the crime happened anyway? If we can prove that he had an alibi after all, this case will be a piece of cake.
Well, you're right, but...
Ha! You think you can prove that? Wake up and smell the coffee.
Well, I think maybe I can.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence that shows the defendant has an alibi?
I have the evidence! Or do you think I'm still some sort of third-rate rookie?
Oh, I've never seen you this angry before.
I'm not surprised. Anger is the last refuge of the pathetic.
I thought it was more confident than angry.
Well then, let's see the this evidence already. Show to this court evidence that proves where your client was on the night of the crime.
Mr. Delight, this wallet belongs to you, correct? Yes, it does! I'd lost it somewhere!
Mr. Wright, when you find a wallet, you should report it to the police right away.
No, you don't understand. This is an important piece of evidence.
Evidence? What's that?
Mr. Delight, when did you first notice that you'd lost your wallet? Let's see. I think it was on the night of the crime. But I know I still had it when Desi and I went out for dinner. This wallet was found at approximately 1 a.m. at the KB Security Headquarters.
What? Surely you're not serious.
Yes, I am serious. This proves that Mr. Delight was in fact at KP Security that night. No! So if the defendant was at KP Security at 1 o'clock in the morning, then that proves that he has a watertight alibi! No! Furthermore, considering the distance between Lordly Taylor and KB Security, it would have taken 30 minutes to get there by car! According to Larry, anyway.
Well, Mr. Godot, do you have anything to say? And stop drinking that coffee!
Come on, Mr. Thief. Don't let this guy beat you. Tell him why he's wrong.
You're the only one who calls me thief, Mr. Godot! Alright, I'll try. I'll do it, I will!
He's really got Mr. Delight all worked up.
Yeah, he's like a kid at his first day of school. Look, it's just ridiculous! Why would I have dropped my wallet at KB Security? Someone must have planted it there to make it look like I was there and not at the heist!
Planted it there. He's really reaching now.
Mr. Delight, you probably dropped your wallet when you took it out to use this, didn't you? The keycard to KB Security's CEO's office. No!
Huh. That was a pretty good try, Mr. Trite. Unfortunately, you overlooked one small thing.
What?
Motive, of course. Why would this thief go to KB Security in the middle of the night anyway?
Well, Mr. Wright, it looks like you need some more evidence after all.
This stupid kid!
Now then, let's see your evidence. The evidence that shows why Mr. Delight went to KB Security at 1 a.m. that night.
Mr. Delight, I believe you've seen this before, correct? That's...
What is it?
A blackmail letter. That's what it looks like from the contents.
Blackmail?
Yes. Basically it says, bring $50,000.
Dollars.
Dollaroos.
That certainly sounds like blackmail, alright.
At the time of the theft, Mr. Delight was dealing with the blackmailer himself. In KB Security CEO's office, a full half hour away from the scene of the crime!
Order! I'll take a pizza. So when the theft of the urn occurred, this defendant was at KB Security. It looks like a perfect case for the defense.
You may see it as a perfect case, Judge, but to me... Well, let's just say that my Godot Blend 107 impresses me a lot more.
What are you trying to say?
You say the thief was being blackmailed by the CEO of a security company. But, did you actually investigate the CEO at all?
Huh? Well, no, I guess not.
Accusing a man of blackmail with no proof. I'm not sure what I think of that.
Not sure what I think of that. At least I know what I think of you.
Good point. I'm not sure what I think of it myself. You claim that the defendant entered the CEO's office. But you will need at least one witness to corroborate your claim, Mr. Wright. Nick, I think we're going to have to track down the CEO guy.
No, we don't have to track down the CEO at all.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Trite?
There's someone else who could testify. This is the person who can testify that the keycard was used at 1 a.m. at night. That night. The Butts!
Who is this useless-looking young man?
You don't remember him, Your Honor?
Not exactly. But just looking at his picture makes the bile start to rise in my throat. It looks like he doesn't remember the case from 2 years ago. It's almost as if he does a case every day.
He probably blocked out that memory on purpose. Anyway, this man was working as a guard at KP Security that night.
Oh?
The question at hand is this keycard.
Yep, that's the keycard they use in the building I work. According to the serial number, this one is for the CEO's office. You need it to get into that room, and every time you use that card, it leaves a record. Yeah, it tells you exactly who entered that room, the room, and when.
As you can see, there's no need to investigate the CEO of KP Security. We should be able to discover the truth simply by analyzing this keycard's data. Disgusting.
Well, Mr. Godot,
The name of the CEO KB Security is Kane Bullard. I was unable to contact him directly, but I got the keycard data here.
so what is it?
Each keycard has its own serial number and they leave detailed records of their use. According to this data, this card was used at 1 a.m. on the morning of the crime.
That means it can't be Mr. Delight dressed as Mask to Mask in this photo.
Ha! It looks like you're right. 2 minutes isn't even enough time to brew a good cup of joe.
So then...
Ron Delight was clearly in the office of KB Security's CEO at the time of the crime. The prosecutor's office is ready to admit that fact. Therefore, it's impossible for the defendant to be Mask to Mask.
Good job, you did it, Nick! That's enough. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. Wait a minute, this is like exactly what you said.
pretty much, yes. What's wrong, Your Honor?
I'm ready to pass judgment, but before I do that, do you have any further objections?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Rondelite.
Got Nilty.
Yay!
Woo! Yippee! Everything is great now.
Court is now adjourned.
October 13th, 2:24 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
See ya some other time.
There is something bad going on. We have got to get out of here. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Tommy, come on. Come on.
Where the hell you been? You have any idea what's going on out there?
I got some notion.
Holy shit. You got blood all over
It
you.
ain't mine. Let's just get out of here.
This ain't half the people in the city lost their minds.
Can we just please go?
Some sort of parasite or something. You gonna tell me what happened?
Later.
Hey, Sarah. How you holding up, honey?
Pretty fine.
Can we hear us on the radio?
Yeah, sure thing.
Thanks.
No cell phone. No radio. Yeah, we're doing great. A minute ago, newsman wouldn't shut up.
They say where to go?
They said, Army's put up roadblocks on the highway. No getting into Travis County.
We need to get the hell out. Take 71.
71, that's where I'm headed.
Please,
Did they say how many are dead?
Probably a lot. They found this one family all mangled inside their
Tommy.
house. Right. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, how did this happen?
They got no clue. But we ain't the only town. First
Where
they
are
said
you
it's just
going?
the south. Now they're going on about the east coast, the west coast. Holy hell.